Have you had an auto repossession? We can help. At Pierre Money Mart, we've been helping good people with bad credit for decades.
800-800-8553, where your car credit is guaranteed.
Supposed to be. You're about 70% for the North and South Cascades, a little better for the Olympics, but the point is we need more snow. Here's one projection through Friday into early Saturday of around a foot plus for Stevens and Snoqualmie, about 2 feet for Baker and for Paradise, and White's in on this fun, Crystal as well of at least a foot, and this is all going to start tomorrow night. Now, if you look here in the meantime, we're dry, but we have a lot of fog. Some around Olympia at 4-mile visibility, the Tacoma Narrows area about a 1/4 of a mile visibility, Bremerton 1.25 miles, SEA is around 1/10 of a mile. That's really thick. And Boeing Field is also thick around Arlington, only 1/2 mile visibility. If you see a 10, Port Townsend's at a 1/4 of a mile, but Port Townsend to Everett or Burlington, if you see a 10, that's perfect visibility. So it's very patchy. But where you have it, it's thick. It's 23 in Bremerton to 34 at the airport to 23 in Olympia. And if you look closer in, Arlington's still at 26. Could be some slick spots. Same thing around Snohomish to Lake Stevens. And then in the South Sound, around Bellevue to Mercer Island, Skyway into Newcastle, all in the 20s and 30s. You've warmed up a couple degrees, though, which is nice, thanks to just a little bit of mixing in the atmosphere. You're all going to get to the mid and upper 40s, and you will see sunshine. A few more clouds by the end of the day compared to what we have been seeing. And that leads to, in your pinpoint 7-day forecast, with your weekend always in view, more clouds tomorrow and rain overnight into Friday. So it's a rainy and breezy day Friday with a lot of snow in the mountains that I showed you. And then overnight Friday into Saturday, we enter into a cooler pattern where if heavier showers come through or if we get enough cold air to mix Sunday and Monday, we could see some snow or some wet snow. Now I want to talk about some of the challenges that I see and why I'm not giving you accumulation potentials yet. We're going to talk about that here in about 10 minutes, but I really suggest you download that Kiro 7 mobile weather app because once we get alerts, we can send them all right to your phone. It is 6:40. Frankie is back, and what's the crash you're looking at?
Oh, my friends in East Pierce County are looking at a bit of a sluggish commute. There is a crash. It was just reported on 410 westbound lanes, now down to only one lane open. This is near Traffic Avenue, and you can see that the average speeds from Bonnie Lake working down 410, moving at about 7 miles per hour. Now, this is a really busy stretch and a busy time for those folks, again, who are commuting from Buckley, Sumner, Enumclaw, again, really any surrounding region. Now, my big recommendation is going to be use an alternative route on Sumner Taps Highway. Take that all the way up if you have to head up north towards Auburn. It's going to be a bit longer, but you won't be stuck in that traffic because take a look at this. Once you get on 167, if you're continuing on again through that Renton, Kent, towards Auburn Way, you're going to see that it's going to still be a bit of a sluggish commute. So this crash is certainly going to set you back, but the good news is crews are on scene to clear that. Another crash to put on your radar I'll have coming up in about 10 minutes.
Frankie, thanks. Coming up, the Trump administration making an offer to nearly all civilian federal employees, a buyout, when those workers need to make the decision to stay or go.
Then the return to the office debate heats up. New research shows how many people are willing to quit to be able to stay.
We are both full-time active duty military, so our schedule varies. We are extremely busy, especially with both of us working.
During the week, we have limited time to go grocery shopping, so it's perfect to just come home and have something already in place.
And then we save money too. You just simply pay for what you're going to eat. You don't have anything wasted. You're not going out to eat a lot. You're staying in the house and you're cooking the food that you bought.
Elevate your workspace with the Lightning Desk Mat, a multifunctional tool to enhance your computing experience. Surrounded by LED ambient lighting, including a wireless charging station with a silky smooth surface that's waterproof, functional, and elegant. The Lightning Mat is the ultimate desktop accessory. Scan the code to light up your workspace today with the Lightning Mat. Available now. This Valentine's Day, show your love with a personal gift that lasts.
Oh my gosh, guys, guess what just arrived at my doorstep?
Valentine's photo blanket.
Order yours today.
Say hello to the Cobb Gobbler, the effortless corn stripper. That's cream of the crop. With its ergonomic design, peeling corn has never been easier. Crafted from solid, rust-proof stainless steel, the Cobb Gobbler is built to last.
I love the Cobb Gobbler. Totally changed my salad game.
I used my Cobb Gobbler so much I bought 3 more. It shucks great.
Elevate any dish with freshly shucked corn. It's quick, simple to use, and easy to clean. Scan the code for an exclusive discount.
We all love recipes with garlic, but trying to use an awkward garlic press makes a smelly mess. Introducing the Great Garlic, your ultimate kitchen companion for effortlessly crushing garlic to perfection. Just place a peeled clove of garlic under the grate, rock it back and forth, and say goodbye to tedious chopping and messy mincing. The Great Garlic ensures consistent results.
When all you want is everything.
President Trump's promised immigration raids are picking up. In the last 24 hours, agents targeted our nation's biggest city. The Secretary of Homeland Security went to the Bronx, where agents performed an overnight roundup on Monday, and this is likely just the beginning. The ICE field office in Manhattan is getting more supplies, more people, and being told to gear up.
It's not a spectacle. This is our nation's law enforcement judicial process. The scales of justice are equally applied to everybody. We want transparency on this.
The agency has a quota as well. They want to arrest 500 people this week in New York City. Vice President J.D. Vance has said mass deportations should start with 1 million people a year. Large-scale raids in Chicago could start as early as today. Now, more local agencies here in Washington are coming out to clarify their roles if this type of federal intervention comes to our state. Tacoma police say they are fully following state laws and will not be making immigration-related arrests. It says, quote, TPD and other local law enforcement agencies cannot enter into agreements that would grant federal civil immigration enforcement powers to state or local officers.
Developing overnight, the Trump administration is offering buyouts to nearly all federal workers. It's part of an effort to get those who work remotely back into the office. An email with a deferred resignation offer was sent to federal employees and posted to the U.S. Office of Personnel Management's website Tuesday night. The email explains those who choose to resign before February 6th are exempt from in-person work requirements until the end of September. They will also keep their pay and benefits regardless of daily workload. The White House says the buyouts could save up to $100 billion annually for taxpayers. Looking closer at return to office mandates, the Pew Research Center recently found the number of employees expected in person at the office a certain number of days per week or month has grown since early 2023. However, the survey found of the people who currently work from home, at least sometimes, nearly half say they'd rather find a new job than give that up. We're a month into 2025, but Lunar New Year is just kicking off for Asian communities around the world.
Yeah, happy Lunar New Year to all of you. Cities are celebrating the year of the snake right now. And take a look at this. This is the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa. It came to life, basically, with that snake there to mark the occasion. The Nasdaq Stock Exchange also gave a ringing endorsement of good fortune. Asian Americans from San Francisco to Boston have been getting ready for the festivals for weeks.
You need to clean your house, you need to cut your hair, but you also need to get your decorations, you need to get your flowers, you need to get all of the things that symbolize prosperity, wealth, and renewal in the new year.
Lunar New Year signifies the end of winter and the arrival of the new year. This year it falls between January 28th and February 4th. In the Chinese zodiac, the snake symbolizes wisdom, intuition, and transformation. The zodiac is a 12-year cycle that links each year to an animal sign, and the snake is the 5th animal in the zodiac.
Well, here's some things you should do to bring good luck. Eat dumplings.
Ooh.
Sounds good. The Chinese word for them is similar to the ancient word for new, replacing the old. You can also wear red, Dee Dee.
Yes.
And put up red decorations. Here are some things you should not do today. Wash or cut your hair. The Chinese character for hair is the same first character in the word prosper. So by washing or cutting your hair, you'd be getting rid of your fortune and reducing your chances of prosperity. Also, do not clean. You should have done this before midnight. Easily done.
Love that idea.
And if you clean today, you'll be getting rid of any good luck that arrived at the stroke of midnight last night.
I cleaned before I came to work.
It's an excuse to
my wife's coming home today, so she now I can't clean the house for her to see it. That's on her.
And there are celebrations happening across the Puget Sound. This Saturday, there's a kid-friendly festival at the Seattle Asian Art Museum featuring a live lion dance. There's also a celebration at the Edmond Center of the Arts featuring a food market, vendors, and much more. And there's another party happening at Lucky Envelope Brewing in Seattle's Ballard neighborhood. Plus, there's also going to be a Lunar New Year celebration in Seattle's Chinatown International District, but that's actually happening next month on Saturday, February 22nd. There will be vendor booths lined up all along South King Street, plus dance performers and music on the main stage at Hing Hay Park. It's a good time. Going in depth now, this is the first Lunar New Year since the holiday was legislatively recognized in Washington state. Governor Jay Inslee signed it into law last year. It is an unpaid holiday similar to how Colorado and California recognize it. Lots of events going on this weekend for Lunar New Year, and Nick's been tracking the weather conditions, though. It's going to be a little bit chilly, a little bit messy.
Yeah, it's messy. This morning we have fog, and it is a couple of degrees warmer than yesterday overall, but fog out there around SEA South, a little in Arlington, a little around Whidbey Island, but either way, we're all going to clear. Just know with the fog in play, you might find some slick spots. I haven't heard of anything yet, but the potential is there. And then we're in the upper 40s with increasing sunshine. Looking ahead, here's 10 o'clock tomorrow night. We're dry during the day tomorrow, but then on your pinpoint future track, rain comes in. You start to see some really good snow in the mountains. We talked about that 10 minutes ago, around a foot at least. Here's 7 through noon tomorrow. Rain just picks back up again, so it might be lightest around the morning commute tomorrow. And then after about 5 p.m., we're going to see the rain taper to showers, and it will also be on the breezy side, breezy throughout the day. But once that system moves through and we taper off to showers, look at this. Here's your pinpoint wind tracker in the morning. Breezy, southwest wind maybe 10 to 15, or rather 10 or 15 to about 20, 25 miles per hour. 7 o'clock through the end of the day, if you notice that around 5 and especially closer to 9, you see southwesterly wind coming in around Tacoma and Olympia and Seattle, and west wind through the strait. That's the setup for the convergence zone. And so that can produce some heavier than average showers and can temporarily force the snow level down. So starting overnight, Friday night, early Saturday, I do think it's cold enough where you might see some snow or some wet snow, especially in heavier showers or, closer to 500 feet. But there is a better bet Sunday and Monday. However, accumulations are just uncertain right now. The computer models are not agreeing. There's some south wind, which makes it difficult for snow to fall. How much cold air are we going to have, and how much moisture are we going to have left? I promise you I'm watching it. But at this point, it doesn't look like a snow event. It looks like we're going to see some snow and some wet snow. But Frankie, I promise you I'm going to be staring at this over the next couple of days, all day, every day, to figure this out.
I believe it. I can already see the visuals of Nick just glued to his computer there. I wanted to bring up another crash that has been reported in Mercer Island. This is on I-90 eastbound lanes. We're seeing that this is just having a bit of an impact on those commutes. Right now, 2 lanes are closed down, so crews can go ahead and get that cleaned and figured out. I do want to go back down, though, to the Bonnie Lake area. This is on 410 westbound lanes, a crash just near Traffic Avenue. Now, this is a pretty significant crash because everyone taking 410 from Buckley, from Enumclaw, from Bonnie Lake, from Sumner, whatever, could have some sort of impact. So I just want to remind you that even though these speeds are slow, if you are heading from the Bonnie Lake, Prairie Ridge, South Hill area, and you need to get to Puyallup or into Puyallup region, make sure you're using Rhodes Lake Road as your detour. That's a good detour to kind of get you through this. And also that Sumner Taps Highway if you need to move north towards Auburn. That'll help pass you through, again, some of these slowdowns that are accruing. I'll have more on those drive times coming up at the end of the hour. But for now, for those of you who have to head out the door right now, 97.3 Cairo News Radio will be your best friend.
All right. Thanks, Frankie. CBS Mornings is just ahead at 7 o'clock.
Here's Nate Burleson with a look at what's coming up.
Hey, Jason and Dee Dee, good morning. Good to see you. Here's what's coming up on CBS Mornings. President Trump's immigration crackdown is in full force. Major Garrett watched federal agents carry out raids and met with Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to see how the operation works. Plus, have you noticed how expensive a carton of eggs has gotten? Well, you are not alone, and the high prices are not just at the grocery store. We will explain that spike and what it means for your menu options. Also, award-winning actress Laverne Cox is here. She's not only starring in her new series Clean Slate, she's also a creator and executive producer. And we'll announce the winner of the 2025 Grammys Music Educator Award. You won't want to miss that. We will have everything you need to know and more on the show. We'll see you at 7.
Good stuff. Thanks, Nate. It is 6:53. Let's take a live look at the numbers on Wall Street, where this morning you can see the Dow is up 20 points in early trading. Just a little bit of a smidge right there in the green. So let's check in on our local stocks as well, where you can see that Boeing is still doing well, rallying right now, up 1.5% after optimistic outlooks from the CEO about plane production. Meanwhile, Costco and Microsoft are both down right now.
The Tacoma Home and Garden Show is back and larger than ever before. January 30th through February 2nd at the Tacoma Dome. See garden displays and shop for plants for your own garden. Plus, admission is free on Thursday, courtesy of Hunt Services. Visit TacomaHomeandGardenShow.com.
Get yourself Toyota ready during truck and all-wheel drive season with a family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Get 6.49 APR financing on Highlander or Grand Highlander with 2 years no-cost maintenance. Toyota, let's go places.
We are both full-time active duty military, so our schedule varies. We are extremely busy, especially with both of us working.
During the week, we have limited time to go grocery shopping, so it's perfect to just come home and have something already in place.
And then we save money too. You just simply pay for what you're going to eat. You don't have anything wasted. You're not going out to eat a lot. You're staying in the house and you're cooking the food that you bought.
Before ClickUp, we were kind of a mess. We had so many different systems that we were using to communicate and share knowledge that you kind of had to code switch every time you were talking to somebody different.
We have distributed teams all across the world. There's a clear time difference there, and I think ClickUp really helps manage all that information regardless of time. We can communicate asynchronously, and so we are able to be very productive using ClickUp.
A hidden oasis nestled amidst the breathtaking landscapes of Washington's Olympic Peninsula. This is Little Creek Casino Resort. Feel the excitement of our electrifying atmosphere. Enjoy live entertainment, slots, table games, and a dedicated sports book. Celebrate flavor with a collection of dining options unrivaled in the South Sound. And experience unparalleled relaxation at our 7 Inlet Spa. Book your stay now at Little Creek Casino Resort.
Stay tuned for a special free offer from Flash Force Tactical Flashlight. With its powerful telescopic zoom, the Flash Force Tactical Flashlight gives you a super bright light visible at a distance of over 2,000 meters. With 7 useful modes plus a USB rechargeable battery, the Flash Force Tactical Flashlight is always ready to light up the night. And if you scan the code on your screen and order right now, we'll send you a second Flash Force Tactical Flashlight absolutely free. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. Scan the code on your screen to order now.
Or Western Washington Hyundai dealer.
Tacoma Police Chief Avery Moore is resigning after 3 years leading the department. In his resignation letter, Chief Moore said he is stepping away from law enforcement. Unrelated, but this comes months after he was placed on administrative leave for racking up a work cell phone bill on vacation. Chief Moore's resignation goes into effect on Monday. Meanwhile, Deputy Chief Paul Younger will be the acting chief as the city manager looks for Moore's replacement.
Today, Seattle Interim Police Chief Sue Rohr is clearing out her office to make way for the new chief. She was on the job for 7 months. New chief Sean Barnes comes in tomorrow. While Rohr is stepping down, she will stay a few weeks to help with the transition. Barnes is coming from Madison, Wisconsin, and the city will do a public introduction Friday.
Today, ferry riders can start saving a spot already for spring. Vehicle reservations open online at 10 a.m. this morning. Washington State Ferry says there will be a virtual waiting room to make sure it's a smooth experience. For the Anacortes San Juan Islands route, there will be a new schedule this spring.
All right, we'll see increasing sunshine today, but it's foggy and cold this morning. More clouds tomorrow. Then we have the rainy, breezy, and mountain snowy weather on Friday. But then this weekend, we have that threat for snow, wet snow that we're watching very closely.
Oh, so much to talk about there. Let's talk about traffic one more time. Here's a look at your drive times in the South Sound. They have climbed up. We're at about 74 minutes from Tacoma to Seattle, and a quick check at those North Sound drive times. Not looking good either. Everything just about in the red here.
Ew.
It's a little rough out there. Hang in there. Thanks for joining us for KIRO 7 News in the morning.
Yeah, we'll have another live update coming up at 7:26. CBS Mornings is next. Have a great day.
I want to share Alaska with you because it is one of the last places on the planet where wild places can exist. and be untouched. And those are places our small ships go to where we can see wildlife up close. We actually go ashore, stepping where no one has ever put a foot down before. It's really about guiding you to places you've never been before, and that is on Cruise Adventures.
Book by March 31st for savings of up to $500 per person on select sailings.
Straight lines, clean, tight fittings, no leaks.
Pristine, isn't it?
Well, better than code. I guess that's why you call it a signature install.
Well, precision doesn't happen by accident. We insist our installers do all the little things that make a big difference in the performance of your home's plumbing.
It's a difference that's easy to see.
Backed by the best guarantees and warranties in the business.
We are both full-time active duty military, so our schedule varies. We are extremely busy, especially with both of us working.
During the week, we have limited time to go grocery shopping, so you know it's perfect to just come home and have something already in place.
And then you save money too. You just simply pay for what you're going to eat. You don't have anything wasted. You're not going out to eat a lot. You're staying in the house and you're cooking the food that you bought.
This Valentine's Day, show your love with a personal gift that lasts.
Oh my gosh, guys, guess what just arrived at my doorstep?
Introducing the Insta Cozy Valentine's Photo Blanket.
I sent this super cute photo so they can make me a custom blanket.
Shop, compare, and save on kitchens, baths, flooring, and more at the Tacoma Home and Garden Show. Get your coupon online and save $5 at TacomaHomeandGardenShow.com.
I'm Nick Allard. I know weather, so you'll be prepared on Kiro 7 News in the morning.
This is Kiro 7 Breaking News.
We begin with breaking news at noon. The Trump administration now walking back a move to freeze federal funding for certain programs. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jason Sloss. The White House releasing a memo today rescinding the controversial order. The freeze would have completely paralyzed programs relying on that funding and caused a lot of confusion. The federal judge who blocked the freeze said not even the White House knew the full scope of what the decision would lead to. A two-line memo from Acting Director of the Office of Management and Budget says the memorandum is rescinded and directs those with questions about implementing President Trump's executive orders to contact the general counsels at their agencies. In a statement, Washington Senator Patty Murray said this is an important victory for the American people whose voices were heard after massive pressure from every corner of this country. Real people made a difference by speaking out. More breaking news this hour as the Pioneer School District is on modified lockdown. Mason County Sheriff's deputies say there's an outside threat under investigation, adding that children are safe. Deputies are patrolling campuses as a precaution. The Sheriff's Office says they'll provide more information later and will keep you posted. In Pierce County, a fire started this morning just a few feet from a school in Tacoma, threatening several buildings. Firefighters took care of the fire, but it did some damage. Kiro 7's Runji Sinha explains who will be affected.
The fire did heavy damage, but most of the damage is on the inside, so we can't walk in there and show you that. What we can show you is this smoldering pile of debris. You can see we're actually pretty close. It's smoking. There's some fiberglass that is still smoldering and smoking. They threw all of this out here as they were responding to the fire. Now, we do know that it was confined to this portable unit, it didn't spread, but it happened really close to an early learning center.
When I heard a school fire in Tacoma and I heard Emerald Learning, I thought, oh boy. So I jetted over here.
Jerry Wagner showed up for work at Emerald Learning Center early this morning when he heard about the fire that torched this portable unit. He says Champion Center Church owns the building and leases the school space and these units, like the one that belonged to a motorcycle club. This is a clubhouse you said that belongs to?
The Christian Crusaders motorcycle group.
A spokesperson for Tacoma Fire says the fire broke out just before 4:15 a.m. Firefighters were able to contain the fire and keep it from spreading. Wagner says sometimes homeless people have tried to camp in the area. He worries they may have lit a fire next to the unit that burned.
She caught their clubhouse on fire and totally gutted it. We're always telling people, you can't, it's a school, you can't camp in our parking lot.
Tacoma Fire did not say what caused the fire. That is now under investigation. You can see charred debris from a porta-john next to the unit. A school official tells me classes are canceled today because of the fire and smoke. Wagner, who has been at the school for years, has seen the riders there a lot in that time. He feels for them since he says the unit holds a special meaning for the group. They store memorabilia, files, and even urns with the remains of members who have passed there.
They do tons of good for the community, but it's just sad. When you have a group of riders who have been together for 20, 30 years, you collect a lot of stuff. And, of course, it's all gone. They're going to be devastated.
In Tacoma, Ranji Sinha, Kiro 7 News.
And right now, the Everett Fire Marshal's office is investigating a deadly apartment fire. It happened last night just before 10 at a fourplex on Grand Avenue. When firefighters arrived, they found an unresponsive woman inside one of the units. They were unable to revive her, and she died at the scene. No reports of any other injuries or how that fire may have started. Also last night, just after 5:30, firefighters in Shoreline rescued 2 people and a dog from a house fire on First Avenue Northwest. Crews had that fire out in less than 20 minutes. The 2 people rescued were treated for smoke inhalation. Over in Clark County, firefighters took on a house fire on South Alder Avenue yesterday. Multiple fire districts had to work together to keep it contained. They had the fire under control in about an hour. Thankfully, no one hurt. The Red Cross stepped in to help the family that was displaced, and the cause of that fire is under investigation. All right, check this out. This morning, we did a bit of time lapse to catch the fog that was sweeping over downtown Seattle. A beautiful shot, but that fog was thick, even in the later hours this morning. Nick Allard here. Talk about the changes we're seeing outside.
We finally have some sunshine. I mean, we've been slowly seeing it increase more and more over the past few hours. From our Emerald Queen Casino camera in Tacoma, it is clear and it is gorgeous. There is still a little fog around Whidbey Island, and then even across like into, say, even almost Port Townsend and Vancouver Island, and there is a little bit around SEA, but it continues to clear. Anybody with a 10, that's perfect visibility, and it's cool as a result, but that hasn't changed much in the past couple of days, in the 30s and 40s. If you look at your pinpoint storm tracker, you can see a little bit of low cloud cover at the coast. We are going to feel and see more ocean air and more cloud cover increasing a little bit tonight. But the bigger picture has to do with the rain for Friday, and it's funny. Friday in and of itself is going to be an active day, but we're so focused on the snow beyond it. I will talk a lot about Friday, but I want to give you my thoughts on the potential for snow. Rain Friday, and then kind of a rain and snow mix for the mountain passes. Snoqualmie Pass will be kind of a mix, and then it will be breezy. But then we are all going to be cold enough for maybe like some scattered areas of snow or wet snow starting Saturday if you have, say, heavy showers, especially if you have elevation or heavy showers. It gets colder overnight Saturday into Sunday and Monday, but how much moisture is there? Will the showers be spotty? Will they be consistent? It's really a tricky setup, and the computer models are not really agreeing, but I can show you coming up at least the start of the potential for heavy showers that would put us into sort of a wet snow mix for maybe some accumulation. I'll show that to you coming up here in the timing in just a few.
All right, Nick, thank you. Tacoma Police Chief Avery Moore was on the job for 3 years, but now he's resigning, not just from the department, but law enforcement altogether. This resignation seems abrupt, but some say they saw it coming. Kiro 7's Samantha Lamibao looked into complaints from within the department.
After 3 years as Tacoma's top cop, Police Chief Avery Moore announced Tuesday he's stepping down. In his resignation letter, he said in part, quote, "After 35 incredible years in law enforcement, I have made the heartfelt decision to step away from this noble profession and transition into the next chapter of my life." A decision that Tacoma Police Union President Sergeant Henry Betts said needed to happen during an interview with KTTH and Jason Rance.
So we're just paying people to not be here. When my members do that, we call it theft. But when chiefs do it, it's like, I guess it's just okay.
Betts is referring to Chief Moore's attendance, claiming he's been in and out of his office over the past 6 weeks, leaving the department without any direction.
He's not here for a week, and the next week comes and another notice goes out and he's not here for a week. The assistant chiefs were told not to direct report to the deputy chief, so they're all kind of pointing fingers each way saying, well, who's in charge? And no one really knows.
And Betts says the frustrating part was not knowing why the chief wasn't there.
And what happens with that is nobody's accountable for any of the decisions that get made.
These accusations coming just a couple months after Chief Moore was placed on administrative leave for racking up $1,000 in charges on his work cell phone while on vacation. That cleared up after a few days, but Betts says the department has faced bigger problems not being addressed by the chief or the city.
When you find something, you say, this is an issue and we need to deal with it, it gets glossed over and ignored and not even responded to, even if it's valid.
Samantha Lamibao reporting there. Moore's exit comes after he championed two big changes to try and make the city safer. One was the specific neighborhood emphasis enforcement, with the Hosmer area one of the main targets. The department upped visible and regular patrols as a deterrent for crime in the area that's had problems for a long time. Those patrols have shown positive signs in early stages. Another big change was ShotSpotter. Moore strongly supported bringing the gunshot detection technology to the city. It's controversial, but Tacoma installed it on a temporary basis to reduce crime and police response times to shootings. And there's a transition of power at SPD. Today, Interim Chief Sue Rahr is clearing out her office to make way for the new chief. Rahr was on the job for 7 months. From the start, she vowed to step down after cleaning up a department beleaguered by misconduct. Former Chief Adrian Diaz was fired after being caught in a tangle of discrimination lawsuits, plus an alleged affair within the department. Rahr dealt with major personnel changes, including people who are no longer with the department. Officer Daniel Otterer was fired for joking about a young woman hit and killed by a police SUV. And that driver, former Officer Kevin Dave, also just fired this month. Then second in command, Eric Barden, also gone. He faced controversy around domestic violence incidents last year. It was under investigation, but decided last month to retire. New chief Sean Barnes comes in tomorrow. While Rahr is stepping down, she will stay a few weeks to help with that transition. Barnes is an outsider coming in from Madison, Wisconsin, and has been widely praised for his dedication to data-based policing. The last two chiefs were promoted internally. Former Chief Kathleen O'Toole, who was the last chief not to be hired from within the department, has helped with this search. The city will do a public introduction Friday. The police arrested a man wanted for a brazen drive-by shooting in Seattle's Greenwood neighborhood, and getting the suspect into custody was not easy. The shooting happened in broad daylight. Remember this? Late last month. Police say the man started shooting at a driver on Linden Avenue North. Incredibly, no one was hurt. Police say these clear surveillance images helped them identify the suspect, identified as 38-year-old Robert Isabel. On Monday, Seattle police tracked Isabel to an apartment complex on Lower Queen Anne. SWAT knocked on the door saying they were there to arrest him.
At that time, we did see frantic movement inside of the residence, and it appears that the suspect tried to attempt an escape from custody by climbing out of a bedroom window, which was 6 stories up in an apartment building. And of course, he wasn't able to get very far.
SWAT officers were on the roof of the building and talked him down, then made the arrest. Police say they recovered multiple weapons inside the apartment. Isabel's being held on a $500,000 bail. More breaking news as Seattle police say they've arrested a suspect in the deadly shooting at Baker Park in Ballard over the weekend. Officers say they booked a 20-year-old man for robbery and murder. Police found a man who was shot early Sunday morning in the middle of the popular park. He died shortly after. Police and the SWAT team arrested the suspect yesterday afternoon. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. Well, coming up, a new state bill is trying to keep people safe at bars, including drug test kits at businesses that sell alcohol. But not everyone is convinced it's going to do the job. Louis Tran tracking that story when we come back. Uncruise Adventures is hiring seasonal crew for the upcoming cruise season in Alaska. Marine engineering, hotel, galley, and expedition positions available. Benefits include room and board when on board, rotation schedules, and travel stipends. Work for the most awarded cruise company in Alaska. Learn more at uncruise.com.
The Tacoma Home and Garden Show is back and larger than ever before. January 30th through February 2nd at the Tacoma Dome. See garden displays and shop for plants for your own garden. Plus, admission is free on Thursday, courtesy of Hunt Services. Visit TacomaHomeandGardenShow.com.
Hi, I'm Ken, and I'm a lawyer.
I'm Donnie, and I'm not, but I am an advocate.
So am I.
I'm an advocate.
I'm an advocate.
I'm an advocate.
Seriously injured? You deserve justice. You deserve an advocate.
That's us.
All of us.
We are both full-time active duty military, so our schedule varies. We are extremely busy, especially with both of us working.
During the week, we have limited time to go grocery shopping, so, you know, it's perfect to just come home and have something already in place.
And then you save money too. You just simply pay for what you're going to eat. You don't have anything wasted. You're not going out to eat a lot. You're staying in the house and you're cooking the food that you bought.
Stay tuned for a special free